I want to talk a little bit about male friendships with women, the emotional labor that they dump on us, even when we're not romantically involved. And I'm using two content creators to do that. The first is a woman who is speaking about how a man that she wasn't even romantically involved with, she noticed that he was kind of using her for emotional labor. And then my homie Mel Hamlet, she swoops in. I'm going to do a clip of her, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I have noticed, because I was in Kevin Samuels groups for 2 years just doing reconnaissance. And I know that Kevin Samuels groups are not a reflective of the big picture, but manosphere talking points and how men treat women is throughout the religious groups, is throughout the white manosphere, and is touching bases on many different levels, because I've seen this behavior on in different varieties, different levels, because there are levels to this. So I think that this is an interesting conversation to broach: male female relationships and how we talk to each other and what women are being used for. Now, once you know and you can see these examples, you'll have to take a step back and say, do I want to be the emotional support and for these people, and am I getting emotional support in return? So tune in to these videos. Tell me what you think on the back end.
We spend so much time discussing how men use women for sex and their bodies and the best time to have sex and how long to wait, but nobody talks about how a lot of these men are not using you for that, but rather they're using you for intimacy. Now, sex can be a part of intimacy, but intimacy also looks like talking on the phone all night, texting all day, coming over to chill, watch Netflix. I would assume those elements are involved in any type of relationship you have with a man. Even if you are just hooking up, it's not like you're just going over, hooking up, and immediately leaving or not speaking at all in between. Yes, he's using you for a hookup, but he's also using you for that intimacy. I'm willing to bet if you were to stop entertaining his phone calls, stop having text message conversations with him and hanging out with him, providing this additional intimacy to whatever physical intimacy you guys are or are not having, he probably would be a lot less interested in that relationship. Now, last year I was talking to a man, I don't even want to call it dating because I don't even know what the heck we were doing, who didn't live in this state, but he always made it a priority to see me. Whenever he was in town, he would shift his entire schedule to prioritize me, to see me. He would drive hours to come hang out with me if we were anywhere near the same vicinity. When we were not physically together, he would stay on the phone with me all night long, like until the sun rose, several nights a week. But whenever I would start asking him questions about dating or relationships, he would get closed off or change the subject. Like, he would talk about it, but he wouldn't go too deep. And it suddenly became very clear to me that this man was not interested in a relationship. Now, I'm confused because our relationship was not physical, nor was he pressing for it to be physical. So I'm sitting here thinking, why is this man spending all of this time with me? All of this time talking to me, going way out of his way to hang out with me and come show me a fun time, if he doesn't want a relationship with me? Because whenever we talk about relationships, what do we always hear? Oh, if a man is interested in you, he's gonna make you a priority. He's gonna sacrifice time, money, effort to come see you. And that's exactly what this man was doing. And yet I was still confused by his intentions. So one day I was over it and just stopped answering the phone. And I think like a year went by before I heard from him again. And when I looked back at the situation, I realized that this man had no intentions of settling down anytime soon. I had falsely chosen to determine his actions, despite him never saying it, as an indication that he did. However, he's human. We're human. We want connections with people. We want to feel intimacy. We didn't live in the same state, so I'm sure he was getting his physical fix from whoever he was with there. And he was using me for his emotional fix. So if you are talking to someone or hooking up with someone who has made no clear indication by their words and actions, because the two have to go together, that they are looking for a relationship, that they are looking for a serious commitment and a partner, despite how much time they spend with you or how much fun they say they have with you, don't delude yourself into thinking that this means they want a relationship with you. So stop allowing them to waste your time by keeping you up on the phone all night and texting you all day. Now, if you are on the same page and that's all you want to, great. But be aware that you are fulfilling all of these emotional and physical needs without any expectation of commitment.
In my experience, men use me way more just because they're lonely. They're so desperate for attention, for validation, for someone to listen to, someone just to be around you. And if you're on the dating apps, whoa, these men will literally message you all day, every day, for months, and never meet up with you. I'm going to show y'all an example in a second because it's bonkers to me. Because a lot of these men don't have friends. Sorry to bring it back to this, but this is another reason why I wrote this article. Men don't have friends, so they use us for everything that or if they do have friends, they're empty friendships with other men, okay? So they use us, even if they're not in a relationship with us, they're not even friends with us, they have no desire to ever even meet up with us. Sometimes they will. Sometimes they want to use our body and schmegs and all that stuff. But a lot of times they are just bored and lonely and have literally nothing else to do. And so they just text you all day. And so like she was saying, you know, a lot of men, it's like it doesn't matter how long you wait to sleep with them. If you choose to take that course, you know, it doesn't matter. If they have nothing going on, they just need to be near a woman. They need companionship, even if they want no commitment whatsoever. They need someone to listen to them pontificate. They just want to be near your body. They have nothing. And this is, again, why men need to learn how to have friendships, especially with other men, but just friendships. Because what they do is they come on these apps looking for pen pals.
I want to talk about the time that I spent in Kevin Samuels groups. Last year, I left the groups because it was getting monotonous and I had collected as much information as I needed. But for 2 years, I was in Kevin Samuels groups listening to men go back and forth. And one of the common strands was men really don't see us as human. They don't see us as being important outside of having babies and being servants to them. And one time a conversation popped up about friendship and if men and women could be friends. And the overwhelming response was no, men and women cannot be friends. Men and women cannot be platonic friends because women are only important for our wombs and how we are servicing them. And so a friendship to them means that we have either already been in a relationship or the relationship is coming or the relationship is coming back around. For them to value our friendship, that would mean that they see us on a more human level, like what are what are our talents? Are we creative? Do you see the importance of just having someone to talk to, support? I don't think that they have the capacity to these people are damaged. They don't have the capacity to support a woman or a friendship outside of, is there anything on the back end for me? And the what's on the back end is typically sex. That is all that they're looking for. But what I also saw and what I see as an overarching theme is that I don't see males having friendships that are deep and supportive like women have friendships. I see males that can coexist and talk to each other, but a lot of times it's surface level things, and a lot of it is rooted in competition. They'll be doing things like drinking together, talking about sex because it always comes back to sex, and or like competing against each other. So, and then when I see them, I see how they want to engage with women. But a lot of times, even if it's negative going back and forth, that is the only way they really know how to communicate. So it's a very strange dynamic. And I do believe that a lot of it is societal. They don't know how to have friendships. They don't know how to communicate, and they don't value us. I don't really think that they value men very much either. So this is the reason why I think that there is a crisis of lonely men and a crisis of connection, because they're not taught to touch bases with their emotional side. But y'all go ahead and chime in and tell me. One of my internet friends, Mel Hamlet, wrote this article for Harper's Bazaar. She titled it, Men Have No Friends and Women Bear the Burden. And she put this out 4 years ago. And what I am seeing is that this still holds true. Let's get into some of it. I'm not going to read the whole article. I want to pull out some of the pieces. And you see if you can see any of your relationships with men in these examples. Kelly's boyfriend refused to talk to other men or therapists about his feelings, so he'd often get into these funks, picking pointless fights when something was bothering him. Eventually, Kelly became his default therapist, soothing his anxieties as he fretted over work and family problems. So they dump on women because in this society, it has been emotions and having feelings has been pushed to the realm of female so that males are not able to process them because they're not supposed to have emotions and feelings. So their emotional well-being and emotional intelligence has been stunted at an early age. This part. For generations, men have been taught to reject traits like gentleness and sensitivity, leaving them without the tools to deal with internalized anger and frustration. They're also told to not be vulnerable because if having feelings means that you can get hurt. So to open yourself up to receive love means that you're opening up to receive hurt once it ends. That's the reason why I think a lot of these men have control issues because they want to control the relationship so hard because they have no compass and no emotional intelligence on how to control their expressions of feelings because we all are humans and actually have feelings, even men, but they are looking to control their expressions of those feelings. Okay, unlike women who are encouraged to foster deep platonic intimacy from a young age, American men with their puffed up chests, fist bumps, and awkward side hugs grow up believing that they should not only behave like stoic robots in front of other men, but that women are the only people they are allowed to turn to for emotional support. And this is, oh, hold on, let me read the bottom too. And girlfriends play best friend, lover, career advisor, stylist, social secretary, emotional cheerleader, and mom to him. Now, as the mom to wife pipeline continues to dry up because these men are not hearing us when we say you need some emotional intelligence, you need to get therapy, you need to be available, all of this stuff, as they are not listening to us, women are opting out of being the emotional dumping grounds for men. You guys let me know what you think.